Hello, students. So, today we are going to discuss a topic known as male reproductive system. This topic is relevant with your reproduction chapter. Here, we are going to learn about the parts and organs and glands which participate in the reproduction in the male body, which is really very essential process because without reproduction, the generation will not be proceed, your speciation will be stopped. So reproduction is not that essential that if an organism will not perform this process, then an organism may not live a healthy life. But it is an essential process because it is needed for the continuation of the species. Okay, so yeah, we will proceed with today's topic, that is male reproductive system. In this topic, first we are going to learn about the reproductive organs and some glands which associates and help the male reproduction system to proceed in the formation of gametes. Now, what are gametes? These are the germ cells. Okay, so gametes are those things which participates directly in the reproductive system. And the male gamete, which we are going to learn here, is the sperm. These gametes are formed by reproductive organs. So reproductive organ in males can be classified in two ways or in two forms. We can call it as primary reproductive organ, which is testes, and secondary reproductive organ, which is sperm duct and penis. So basically, we can say that primary reproductive organ is that organ which directly participates in the reproductive system. And secondary or accessory reproductive organs are those organs which supports the primary organ for the production of the gamete so that further process of fertilization could take place. Now, there are some glands which help them for the formation of the gametes. So they are the seminal vesicle gland, prostrate gland, and Cowper's gland. Basically, they releases some mucus plus hormones which help sperms to move from one place to another as this gamete is movable. In females, the gamete is non-movable. So we will learn everything about sperm, mucus, hormones, glands in this topic. So this is the reproductive organ. This is the diagram of a reproductive organ in males. Okay, now we can see here the very first and important part of male's reproductive organ, that is testes. Now we can also observe that it has been placed inside a tissue. We call it as a scrotum, right? So basically, there is always a reason behind everything inside in the science, right? So the question can come that why this testes is being stored in the scrotum. So very interesting answer is that for the formation of gamete, that is sperm, for the formation of sperm, they are stored under scrotum. Why? Because for the sperm production is always taking place with lesser temperature. For example, if a male body, an average temperature of the male body could be 37 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Celsius, like that. But for the formation of the sperm, we need to have 2 to 3 degree less than the body temperature of the male. And hence, this abdominal part of the male consists of 2 to 3 degree lesser temperature, which helps in the production of the sperm. And they will also have a very speedy movable so that they can reach to the target point for the reproduction process. So this is why the testes are stored in this tissue. We call it as scrotum. Now the next part is that we can see that this brownish layer is being formed over the testes. This particular organ, we call it as a duct, and the name of the duct is epididymis. What is this epididymis basically? This epididymis helps in the storation plus maturation of sperm. As soon as the testes will form the sperm, they will release it into epididymis duct. And for some time, this epididymis will store the sperm and also will mature the sperm during the period of staycation of sperm in the epididymis. This epididymis is then linked or connected with this long tube. We can see in the diagram. We are calling this long tube as vas deferens. This long tube is a vas deferens. So yeah, epididymis is the first duct. Vas deferens is the second duct, which is present in the male reproductive organ. And one important note, we can note over here that once the sperm reaches in the vas deferens, now the male is unable to hold the sperm back. Once the sperm reaches to the vas deferens duct, now they have to get ejaculated out of the body of the males. It's not easy, or you can say it's not possible for the males to hold up the sperm. Now they will have to get ejaculated out of the body. So this is a long narrow tube which actually linked with one more tube. We call it as urethral duct, or you can say it ejaculatory duct, because this urethral duct is linked with the opening in the males. We calling it as penis. This organ is known as penis, and this opening will ejaculate the sperm out of the body of males. So this is just an introduction, you can say, or a sweet introduction of each and every duct and organ inside the male body. But it's not that easy as it is seen, that the testes will form the sperm, they will release in the epididymis, then they will move to the vas deferens, and then they will finally ejaculate out. It's okay. It seems similar and very easy, but it's not that easy. There are so many glands which are involving in this process, and then only the sperm will be able to move. So we'll proceed with those things also. And one more important thing is the testes have one important compartment inside them which gives the formation of sperm. For example, this is my testes, and here there are some room-like compartments inside it, and they are in all 12 to 14 compartments. Here I can draw only 4 just for an explanation. These compartments will be having some tube-like structures inside them. Some tube-like structure will be present inside these compartments, and these tube-like structures, we will be calling it as spermatogenesis or spermatoduct. Spermatoduct, because this is a duct or this is a tube where spermatogenesis is happening. What is spermatogenesis? Genesis means formation of something. Here we are talking about spermatogenesis. So here we are talking about the formation of the sperm. So inside the testes, we are having these compartments. We'll call it that spermatoduct, where the sperms are forming. And they are not forming by their own. There are many hormones which supports them and which helps them to be formed inside the male reproductive organ. We have to understand the hormonal stimulation inside the male body. Then only we will understand how these sperms are formed. Right now I have explained where these sperms are formed. Now we will move on how these sperms will be formed inside the body. So first we have to understand the hormonal impact inside the male body. Now what is it about? Basically, in our brain, the base of the brain, we are having one gland. We call it as hypothalamus gland. This hypothalamus gland is the master of the master gland. Basically, it gives two types of hormone, switch on hormone and switch off hormone. Means this hormone, this gland will actually activate and maintains the working of pituitary gland. And what is it about? Pituitary gland is that part or that gland of the body which controls each and every gland inside our body. So we can say that pituitary gland is the master gland and hypothalamus gland is the master of the master gland. So this hypothalamus gland will switch on our pituitary gland when we enter in our puberty age. So the hormone released by hypothalamus gland is GnRH. We call it as gonadotropin hormone. Now, when hypothalamus gland will release the gonadotropin hormone, and it will release in which gland? It will release in our pituitary gland, which activates the reproductive organ of our body. So if here I'm talking about male, so this pituitary gland in the males will activate our testes. This is how the stimulation of hormones take place. So now how this gland will stimulate the testes? They will release two types of hormone. We call it as FSH and LH. Now we'll learn about them also. What is FSH and what is LH? So basically what happens, FSH is follicle stimulating hormone and LH is luteinizing hormone. So as per the name says, FSH is relevant with the formation of follicles, that is the sperm. And luteinizing hormone is that hormone which helps in the formation of sexual hormones in the male body. For example, we all know, as we have learned in the lower classes, the sexual hormones in the male body is testosterone. Right. Now, this testosterone basically formed with the help of another hormone, which is released by pituitary gland, that is the luteinizing hormone. Okay. So, see, basically it happens this way. First of all, luteinizing hormone will knock at testes, and which part? In the testes, they will knock at Leydig cells. Leydig cells. These Leydig cells will finally give action to the testes that now you have to releases testosterone hormone. This is the function of luteinizing hormone. Now, if I talk about the FSH hormone, this FSH hormone will knock at testes and they will give command to them. They will give actions to spermatoduct that now with the help of this testosterone, please forms the gamete. We call it as sperm. So this is how the whole hormonal system works together for the formation of sperm. And these sperms are finally getting evolved in the process of reproduction. Before that, they will go and get ejaculated inside the female body for the further fusion processes. This is how the things are working in the male reproductive organ. The rest of it we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you so much.